Hey everybody, it's Nate and Steph from Adventure in a Backpack. Today we are going to talk about some of the products that we use in our van that basically make van life easier. We spent about 2 years on the road, and during that time we have found products that do make our lives more efficient, because everything that you have you need to have it for a purpose, basically. And we have found lots of things that didn't work, and we've replaced them with things that did work. And so we are going to share those with you. So, you ready to get started? So the first product that's on the list is more of a system than it is a specific product, but that is solar power. Solar power, we feel like, is incredibly necessary, not only for our purposes of working on the road, but pretty much everybody who lives in a van full-time has solar power to some extent or the other. Ours is very powerful. Some people get by with less powerful solar systems. I always feel funny saying that. But at any rate, some people get by with smaller systems. And so it seems like the common denominator is solar power to some degree. Most people don't like running the generator, and having solar lets you charge phones, cameras, laptops, all that kind of stuff without having to be plugged into shore power or a generator, and gives you a little bit more freedom to roam about the country.
So the second one is a WeBoost. So this is essentially a cell phone cell signal booster, and basically what it does is it repeats the cell signal that's in the air and the atmosphere. I don't really know how that works. It repeats it. There's an antenna on the back of the van, and then that sends the signal down inside of the van where we have another antenna, and that repeats the signal inside the van. So it makes the cell signal stronger within the van. And this has really been, we did not have this in the RV, and we got it for the van, and it has actually made a huge difference in us being able to have cell signal out in the middle of nowhere. So basically it won't pull signal from nothingness, but if there's some signal there, it'll repeat it. And so it may be the difference between not having any cell signal and having a little bit of cell signal, or having a little bit of cell signal and boosting it up to a little bit of 4G. So that's basically been the difference so far, and we've tested it several times with, pulling up to a spot and unplugging it, seeing we don't have any cell signal, then plugging it back in, and then we have 4G. So we haven't done any specific measurements to see exactly how much it gets, but I can tell you it definitely does work.
The next item up on our list is our ARB refrigerator. So our ARB refrigerator is powered off of our solar system. It's powered off of our auxiliary battery bank, and it is really phenomenal. So ARB is a company that is geared more towards overlanding and rough country travel, and so it's incredibly durable. Any kind of road that we are going to be able to go down on our Sprinter, it's not going to shake all the internal parts loose and stuff like that. It's very, very efficient. It just barely sips any kind of power. And it holds all kinds of food. So typically for us, we usually get about 3 to 4 days worth of food, and that's just kind of what we're comfortable with. If we wanted to, I'm very sure that we could get a full week's worth of food into the refrigerator in our pantry, basically be geared up for a full week. So we are very happy with our ARB refrigerator. So the next one on our list is our portable stove. When we were building our van, we weren't really sure exactly how we were going to do all the cooking and everything like that. It seemed like the more common approach to cooking is the Coleman stove with a little auxiliary propane tank, or an induction cooktop. We opted away from both of those. The induction cooktop, we wanted to use as much power as our solar power for our computers and cameras and that kind of equipment, since that's how we make our money on the road. We didn't want to basically have to choose between cooking something and powering our computers for a day if we hit a stretch of cloudy weather. We were turned off to the idea of propane because we didn't want a pressurized tank inside of our van. It seems like there's a lot of logistical issues with having a pressurized container inside of your van, and we just didn't want to deal with any of that. So we have an alcohol stove, and there's just two pods of alcohol inside of it that just use denatured alcohol, and it just burns right out of those pods. So it's a completely self-contained unit. So it's a completely self-contained unit. We can take this entire stove out. We can put it on, usually we just leave it on the in the kitchen, but we can also put it on one of the back boxes, or we can put it out on a park bench, wherever we want to. It's all self-contained in that one box. We are very, very happy with that stove.
Yeah, and so being able to move the stove, just kind of adding on to that, being able to move the stove outside really expands the use of space in the van as well. So it makes it, if it's a beautiful day out and we want to be outside, we can stand outside and cook rather than having to be in the van and cramped and everything. So the next one is our composting toilet. So this is something that we get questions about all the time, actually, and we love our composting toilet. We had the composting toilet in the RV, and we opted to have it in the van as well. That was definitely a no compromise. We had to have our composting toilet in the van. I know a lot of people do just kind of some kind of a bucket system or jugs or whatever, and that wasn't gonna be enough for us. That was something that I did not want to compromise on, that I wanted to have a real toilet, and a composting toilet specifically, so that we could use the bathroom anytime. We don't have to worry about emergencies. We don't have to really think about that. What's great about the composting toilet specifically, as opposed to like a normal black water tank or cassette toilet, is it doesn't have any kind of sewage. So sewage is made when the solids and liquids mix, and so this separates all of that, and so it doesn't have a smell. Like it doesn't have much of a smell. I can't say it doesn't have any smell, because that would be not truthful. But it does not have much of a smell at all. It doesn't smell bad.
It doesn't smell worse than any other toilet in the world.
No, but it definitely does not smell like a Blackwater tank.
No, it doesn't.
We've been around plenty of RVs to know what Blackwater tanks smell like, and it does not smell like a Blackwater tank. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so that is definitely something that we've been super happy with having in the van, and we would absolutely recommend it.
Yeah, so just to kind of expand on that for a second, we've had a few questions. It's like, well, why don't you just go, you're out in the middle of nature, why don't you just go outside? And I mean, yeah, sure, you could pee outside, but it's one of those things, like if it's raining out, or if you're in a trailhead area, like you really want to pack out everything, even if it's just for peeing outside. That's kind of not a good practice. For going number 2 outside, also that's a really good way. Like, you really need to limit that. We as outdoorsmen need to limit that. That's a leave no trace principle. We need to be packing everything out. Going number 2 outside is a really good way to get trailheads shut down, get trails shut down, spread disease, all that kind of like bad stuff. So that's not even an option with us. So that's kind of why we the ethical reasons we wanted to do that. Now the convenience reason, there's the convenience reasons and the ethical reasons, and so hopefully we covered both of those.
Yeah.
Next item on the list is our small water jugs that we have for our running water. We were going back and forth whether we wanted to do an underslung, permanently mounted tank for our fresh water, and we opted for just like 7-gallon portable water jugs. We really like it. We really like them because it's easy to just take those water jugs, and most parks we run across, like just city parks or anything like that, there's usually a water spigot somewhere, and we can just take and carry it over there, open it up and fill it up. Nobody's going to say anything about 7 gallons of drinking water. It's not like we have to like pull up to an RV fill station and bring the hose out and fill it up. It's a lot more simple. It's just 7-gallon tank, grab it, carry it over to wherever you need to, and then fill it up. Pretty straightforward. The fact that we have multiple 7 gallons, I can keep tabs on how much water we're using. So we fill both of them up at one time. We use 7 gallons of water. I know that we have 7 gallons of water left. That's why we don't have any kind of like water monitor. Pardon me. any kind of water monitoring system, because I pretty much know whenever one's out, we have 7 gallons left. We need to be looking within the next day or two for water.
The next couple of things are more like cleanliness type things. Obviously, staying clean in such a small space and in any aspect of your life, as much as we adventure and living in a small space and everything, things can get dirty quickly if you let them. So the next one on our list is foaming hand sanitizer. So this, I'm actually out of it at the moment, but this is alcohol-free foaming hand sanitizer, and there's several different brands of this that we've used, and it's great for, just after you go to the bathroom, being able to wash your hands without using a ton of water or using any water. And it's alcohol free, so it doesn't dry out your hands. So there's a little bit left in there. So it's just a hand sanitizer, rub it in, sanitize your hands, and you're good to go.
It's also really good for basically like sponge baths. In between actual showers, we can actually use this basically as a sponge bath, and it works pretty well.
Yes, it works really well. The other one, a similar note, is actually a dry shampoo foaming waterless shampoo for the dogs. So you don't want to use this stuff on the dogs. This is not good for their skin, and specifically not good for the pads of their paws. So we found this stuff that is essentially just a dry shampoo for dogs, and it smells great. It smells like oatmeal and coconut. And I use it to wipe their paws. So we'll spray it on like a paper towel, or not a paper towel, a washcloth. That's what I'm trying to say. Spray it on a washcloth and wipe their paws with it, and it's safe for their paws. And then also in between baths for them, I'll squirt this on them and then brush it through, and then that helps keep down the dirt, the smell of dogs, and just helps keep everybody clean in here.
Next on our list are Next on the list is merino wool shirts, and these shirts that we have on right now are from Icebreaker, and the material that's made from is merino wool, and its number one biggest thing that I like about it, that we both like about it, is the nature of the fabric naturally is antimicrobial, which what that means is it doesn't stink. We can literally wear these, maybe I can wear these for like 3 days before they start stinking. You can pretty much wear them for a week before they start stinking. You never do though. But anyway, you totally can. So that is absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't get, so it's also quick drying. So you've got like quick drying like this, but then you've got like quick drying like an Under Armour shirt or something like that. I used to wear Under Armour all the time because it was quick drying. But if any of you wear Under Armour, you know that it starts to stink. And then once it starts to stink, even if you wash it, it still has a funk to it, and it doesn't go away. This is basically why I've gotten rid of all of my Under Armour stuff, because of that. Living in a van, you need to make use of your space, and quick dry anti-stink stuff tops the list in my books, because that is super important. We can wash this out in a sink and then hang it up, like just literally in a sink, sprinkle some soap on it, rinse it out, and hang it up, and by the next morning you've got a fresh shirt. And that's even if you needed to wash it. Usually it lasts, like I said, about 3 days. And I'm like super amped up about it, but it's like, well, like literally my favorite piece of like equipment, my favorite recent discovery, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they are a bit pricier, but
Yes.
They are so worth it. And specifically this one, because I mean, if you live in a van, you've got to have that shirt, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Anyway, but they are definitely worth it. We've also switched all of our socks to merino wool, so that helps out a lot. So we're slowly making the switch of everything to wool, so that it is quick dry, antimicrobial, and we can use all of it multiple days in a row without having to wash clothing.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changer. Okay, and the last thing on our list is kind of along the same lines as the merino wool shirts, is quick dry towels. So these are great for, being able to go take a shower at a gym or a campground or wherever you're taking a shower, and then go back into the van and hang it up, and it'll dry really quickly.
Under 30 minutes.
So these are full bath towels. I mean, these aren't little tiny, like you see the camp towels. I can't hold it up. You see the little camp towels that are like washcloths.
Look at how huge this towel is. This is a gigantic towel. So we actually started out with like a camp towel that was maybe like this big, maybe the size of a hand towel, that we used for backpacking and things. But we got these, and these are definitely a game changer because you can dry off your entire body. All of that. We also have washcloths that are, normal washcloth size, that are also the quick dry material. And that, between those 4 items, we each have a towel and we each have a washcloth. That makes showering so much easier, and your stuff is not wet for days on end Forever.
Afterwards.
That was a struggle last year. We didn't have these. We had cotton towels, and they were nice, plush, fluffy towels and stuff, but they did not dry, and there was multiple times they start stinking, and just because they
get crusty because they don't dry all the way.
Gross.
And yeah, they're disgusting. So these were definitely a game changer. But so that was the 10th item on our list. So I think that closes out all of our major necessities, like the essential items for van life and making your life easier while you're on the road, and still having some luxuries of living in a house, but being able to be portable and make life easier.
So if you have questions about any of the products that we've talked about, it's going to be on our kit.com. So what kit.com is it's basically our little space on the internet where we can basically recommend products. We have all the products that we recommend in a few different categories, but we have one specifically for today's video. And so you can go on there, check it out. It's our affiliate links to Amazon and other various websites. And yeah, basically just go check it out. If you have questions about any of the products, further questions, ask them below, because your questions dictate the videos that we will do in the future. If enough people have questions about specific products, then we'll likely do a product review on it eventually. And if there's just a few random questions, then one of us will get back to you and answer your questions. So, is that it?
I think so.
Awesome. So you're going to have right now a few icons pop up. One's going to be a subscribe bubble so that you can stay current on our van life and adventure updates. And the next one's going to be a link to our blog where you can check out some of our writing and other pictures. And lastly is going to be a van life playlist where you can just binge watch all of our videos. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.